Hi there, Mikachi here. I managed to finish a whole 6 books in October 2016, so let's get started. First book I completed is Six Dark Crowns. Six Dark Crowns. 3.
There's only 3, Mick. I just want to let you know that. Which book did you read? Did you read 6 or 3?
I don't know.
Because if you read 6, that's the wrong one.
So the first book that I finished is Three Dark Crowns, which is the book that I got in my
Owl Crate. Owl Crate.
September 2016 Darkness Owl Crate. I thought I was going to finish this a little sooner. Took me a little bit. I kept going back and forth with this book. I actually read an entire other book in the middle of this book because I got bored with it at one point and I couldn't decide if I really liked it or not. Basically, I thought this was going to be a one-shot book. You start it, you finish it, story's done, period, the end. It's not at all. It's just build up and backstory the whole entire book, and then right at the end, you're like, hey, now I want to know what happens. As you can see, I did take some notes while reading the book because I got a little confused. They were telling a lot of backstory for characters that weren't the 3 main characters, and there was just so much information with these other characters that I was getting kind of lost and confused sometimes because you literally jump between 3 stories throughout the entire book pretty much. Between the 3 different queens' stories. And each queen has different characters that they mingle with and all that nonsense, so it gets to be a little much at first. By the time the next book comes out, I'm probably going to forget everything, so I hope they do a recap of who everyone is, because I have a terrible memory with stuff like that.
Previously in Three Dark Crowns.
Yeah. If I had known that this was going to be the first book in a duology or trilogy or whatever it's going to be, I probably would have not minded it as much as I did, because I had no clue that it was going to be more than one book. I kept waiting for this big event to happen and crazy stuff, and how come these queens haven't duked it out yet, spoiler alert, but I don't know. And then you get to the end and it's like, hey, this is interesting, now I want to know more, and I have to wait God knows how long for the next book to come out. So all in all, I gave this book a 3 out of 5. It was enjoyable. I liked it. I wish I had known that it was part of a trilogy or whatever it's gonna be. But, I mean, I guess it sort of held my interest to the point where I finished it. But yeah, I did end up reading an entire other book in the middle because I got bored. So that's why it's not getting a better rating from me. So hopefully the next book will be better, which I do anticipate reading.
So are you giving it 3 Dark Crowns out of 5?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
The next book I read was actually on my Kindle, and It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I don't even know if you can see this. I do occasionally buy Kindle books. I buy a lot of Kindle books, let's be real, because I have the Kindle app on my phone, and I have the Kindle, and I just like, being able to read on the go without having to bring a book with me, because ain't nobody got time for that. I was just in the mood for a fluffy contemporary romance novel, because, I've said before, I like romance novels sometimes. This is not so fluffy, and it is contemporary, but it's not so fluffy. I had no clue that it delved into, deeper matters and really dark, deep stuff. I just thought it was just this fluffy, nice story, and it's really not. It really dips into some serious stuff. Way to go! So this book really digs into some serious issues and things that most people don't really have to go through in their life, but some people definitely do, and it makes you look at situations in a different way. I don't know. I didn't know that going into it. That being said, it was still a good book. I enjoyed it. I finished it in 2 days, because contemporary books I tend to finish really, really quickly. I just get sucked into them, and I have to know what's going to happen next. So I do find that you really go on a journey with this character. I feel like you really connect with this character, even though you may not have been put in the same situation that she's been put in. You can understand why she makes this the decision. In all, I gave this book a 4 out of 5 because, I mean, I did finish it really quickly, even though I wasn't prepared for the serious content in this book. It is really good. The story has a good message to it, and it's a cute romance novel. But just know going into it, it's not this super easy, fluffy read. It is kind of serious. So the next book I read was also a Kindle book. Now, my husband's gonna make fun of me for this one because it's really cheesy sounding. I just wanted a good romance book, and I read online that this one was good, so I decided to pick it up. Even though it's very cliche sounding.
What's the name of it? Hurry up.
It's just like, it's a cowgirl looking book.
What is it called?
It's called Not Quite Dating. I read some good stuff about it, and I was like, hey, I want a fluffy contemporary romance novel. And
I just read one.
No, I didn't get that with It Ends With Us because it wasn't all fluffy and cute, and it was really serious, and I wanted fluffy and cute, so I got this one, and it really wasn't that fluffy and cute either.
You're bad at this.
I'm really bad at picking out romance stories, apparently, by the way. I did not really feel a connection with this character.
You didn't jive.
Yeah.
Say jive. Say jive.
We didn't jive.
Thank you.
That's not something I would say.
Jive.
In the beginning, she literally says, I'm going to spoil this right now, so I'm just warning you. It's not going to totally spoil the story, but it's going to explain why I don't like her. In the beginning, she literally says that she's looking for a guy with money, and she's basically a gold digger, and then goes and explains in the book how she's not a gold digger, and she really is. And I can't connect with a character like that. I don't know. She was totally unlike me. We had no similarities, and it's not the type of character where you can kind of put yourself in their shoes and like put yourself in the situation that the character's in, because you don't feel the same things as the character. It's really hard to describe, but I just didn't like her. And throughout the book, I just kept waiting for her to get better at it. She really wasn't, because she was still a gold digger, and that's how I felt. And despite her saying she wasn't a gold digger, and even though she was acting certain ways like she wasn't, she was a gold digger. She said it straight out in the beginning. Like, I don't get it, but I don't know. Because of that, I gave this book a 2 out of 5. There are sequels to it or whatever. Like, I guess you follow other characters like romance novels tend to do. I don't really care about reading it, and I'm probably not going to. So, yeah. So, the next book I finished in October was Crown of Midnight, the second, technically third sort of book in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I say that because I was one of those people that read Assassin's Blade, I think it was. Is that the one with the 5 mini-stories? I think it's Assassin's Blade. I read that first, even though some people are like, yeah, you shouldn't read that first. It didn't spoil anything for me, really, at all. I know some people say that it does, but I don't feel that way. And I'm actually kind of glad I read it first. But this one, the second one in the series, I really enjoyed it. I do like the series a lot. I read it on the Kindle and I listen to it on Audible, which is really awesome if you didn't know, like, the two of them together. If you're reading and you go to the Audible app on your phone, it'll automatically bring you to the last place you were on the Kindle and vice versa. So if you listen to it on Audible and then you want to pick back up and read the book, when you open your Kindle app, it'll be like, hey, do you want to go to your last listen to location? Yes, I do, and there you go. I'm really enjoying the series so far. I like the characters. Even though the main character is not the most likable character in the world, I still like her. I don't really want to say much about this book because it is smack dead in the center of a series. I'm enjoying this series so far, and I did enjoy this book. There's some pretty big things that happened in this book. Yeah. So I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm currently reading the next one. Next book up is Replica by Lauren Oliver. I actually pre-ordered this book on Amazon because the premise seemed so cool, because it's essentially 2 books in one. If you know anything about this book, then I'm sorry, because I'm going to repeat it again. But you read it one way, and it's Lyra's story. You flip it over, read it the other way, and it's Gemma's story. You can either read one full story and then the other full story, or actually alternate chapters. I read it alternating chapters, starting with Gemma, and I don't know if I recommend it that way. The stories do mix pretty evenly when you do read it chapter for chapter, but I feel like it's too much repetition at once. I mean, I have a bad memory with reading books because I tend to just kind of like breeze through things sometimes, but I do feel like reading one full story and then the other full story would give you a better effect. It would make you enjoy the book better doing it that way than reading alternating chapters, because some things do get redundant with it. And I feel like you would have more of an oh my god moment at certain times in the book if you did it that way also, if you read one full one and then the other full one. I also did not know that this one was going to not be one book by itself. So I feel like it does end pretty abruptly, and it doesn't have one of those like, oh my god endings, but you still want to read more because there are still unanswered questions. So am I going to pick up the next one? Yes. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was enjoyable. I don't think it was like the best book I ever read, but I do think I would have enjoyed it more if I had read the books separately instead of together like I did. So that's how I recommend you do it if you read it. Alright. This is not the cover of this book, but apparently on the Kindle it is the cover. So in my last ditch effort to get a fluffy contemporary romance that was good, I gave up for a little while after that dating one, not gonna lie, but my last ditch effort was Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, and it actually was a cute, fluffy contemporary romance. Finally. I really enjoyed this book. I mean, it was kind of predictable, not gonna lie. It wasn't like, you know, if you've read any contemporary romances before, you pretty much could have guessed everything, but it was still a cute story. I still finished it in like 2 days. Yeah, I found the story to be really cute, and I didn't hate any of the characters really, and it was just a quick and cutesy read. And that's what I was looking for. That's what I was in the mood for, and I finally found it. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars because I read it so quickly and it was cute and I didn't hate it. That's a bad reason. But I ended up picking up the next one already, and I started reading it already, so I couldn't have hated it that much. So yeah. That concludes the books that I actually finished in October 2016. All in all, I don't think any of the books really blew me away that I read this month. As you could tell, I didn't give anything a 5 out of 5 stars. But there were some good books, just nothing like fantastic. Keep your eyes peeled for a November TBR video. Also, I did another book outlet book haul, so look out for that video as well. Don't forget to like if you liked the video and subscribe if you liked it, and I will see you guys next time.